Hey guys, it's me, Vinny Lospinuso, back with a brand new vlog for you. I know this is a little late, by like an hour and a half, but at the same time, I'm still someone that wants to get this word out for everyone. So, as you know, the NFL has their international games that they do every single year. They've been doing it in London since 2007. They've been doing it in Mexico City since 2016. And now starting this year, they're going to be starting to play some games in Germany, alternating between Munich in the even years and Frankfurt in the odd years. So, what does that mean? It means that they will have 5 games. As we said before, there are going to be 5 games for the international series this year. 4 of them are for the NFL's program to have all 32 teams play at least one home game. And they don't have to give a home game again for the next 8 years. And there'll be 4 this year because the NFC has the extra home game. It'll be 4 of them. And then, of course, the 5th one is the Jaguars because they have their little program that they go over in London to play a game in Wembley every single year. That makes it 5. There is at least 4, but there could be as many as if they decide to host a game on their own program that they decide to do, then that's a little different. But we have 4 regularly scheduled and then 1 for the Jaguars. So that makes it 5. 3 of them in London, 1 of them in Mexico City, and then another one in Munich. So let's go over who these are, shall we? Okay. So for the London games, as announced, the Jaguars will be having their game in Wembley, and the Saints will be having a game in Tottenham. But finally, for the first time ever in the International Series, the Packers are going to finally be playing over in London. A lot of fans have wanted this for quite a while now, and the reason why that was never the case was because a lot of teams never want to give up a game against the Packers because it drives in a lot of revenue for the team. For the teams. And plus, the Packers never want to give it up because they live in the smallest market in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And they know that their team is a massive revenue share. It's a massive revenue pool for the entire city. So this was the only way it could happen. And honestly, unless the team decides to have the Packers come in as a road team, I can't see the Packers playing in the international series for a while. I think this will be it for them. There could be another one, but who knows? I think take a good look at this, guys, because this might be the only time the Packers get to do it. Now for the Mexico game, the Cardinals, who are going to be scheduled to host one in 2020, that was canceled due to COVID, and they also decided that there would be no Mexico games in 2021, also due to COVID. So 2 years later, the Cardinals finally get to have their chance to host. Unless it comes another strand and they have to reschedule like they did in 2018 for that classic Chiefs-Rams game on Monday Night Football, the Cardinals will be hosting a game. And for the games in Germany, the Buccaneers will be the first ever team to host a game in Germany, specifically in Munich. So these are our host teams. These are our home teams for the upcoming 5 games. Now, the real question I think everyone's mind is like, Vinny, we may be seeing the teams that are hosting, but who are they going to be facing off in these cities? Who are they going to be facing off against? Well, my friend, I'll tell you right now. Well, first, before we do that, make sure to follow me on Twitter at VinLospinuso91. Also, make sure to follow me on Facebook as well. And make sure to follow me on Around the Block Network, Zenny62, which is here, and Not in the Hall of Fame, as well as American Football International, which I'm also starting to do work for as well. So, now, before we get to who I think it's going to be, we first got to understand the program the NFL has been having since the last few months. You see, this year, the NFL announced that there will be the International Home Marketing Initiative, and 18 teams are selected to market their team across these countries. So in Australia, we have the Rams. Brazil, we have the Dolphins. Canada, we have the Vikings and the Seahawks. China, we have the Rams. Germany, we have the Panthers, Chiefs, Patriots, and Buccaneers. Mexico, we have the Cardinals, Cowboys, Broncos, Texans, Chiefs, Raiders, Rams, Steelers, and 49ers. Spain, we have the Bears and the Dolphins. And the UK, we have the Bears, Jaguars, Dolphins, Vikings, Jets, and 49ers. Looking at these can give us a good indication of who could potentially be facing it against whatever team it is. We know that for the UK, the Jaguars are going to be hosting a game. We also know for Mexico, the Cardinals are going to be hosting the game. And we know for Germany, the Buccaneers are going to be hosting a game. So let's start with the Jaguars, considering that they've been playing in London a while now. The Jaguars, they're doing their own thing, so I think it's easy to look at theirs independently from the other four teams. The Jaguars usually do their own thing. In fact, in 2020, if it wasn't for COVID, we would have had 2 home London games for the Jaguars. We see right here that they're scheduled at home against their AFC South Division rivals, the AFC West teams, the Broncos and the Raiders, the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Giants. So who do I personally think it's going to be for the Jaguars? Well, I know that in 2020, the Broncos were going to be facing against the Falcons if things went according to plan. Unfortunately, it never happened because of COVID, and all the international games were canceled before they could get off the ground and announce the schedule. But it was going to be the Broncos against the Falcons. Never materialized. So I think in this instance, considering this is the best situation for the Broncos, and the Broncos want to play a game in London, I think the Jaguars will say, hey, we'll host you guys because we want to face the Broncos too. So that covers the Jaguars. But the NFL did say that they're going to try to use the extra interconference game for the 17th game as the game that they'll put overseas. But that's not necessarily the case, because for the New Orleans Saints, for instance, they said that they'd be facing against an NFC South divisional opponent. As it says so right here, I added it right here, one of the home divisional games we played. So who will it be, the Falcons, Panthers, or Buccaneers? Well, there's no rules saying that there can't be a team that goes and plays both in London and Germany in back-to-back weeks. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I could see the Falcons, but I don't think the Saints would want to give up their home game against their arch rival, and the Falcons just played there last year. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think they're going to face against the Carolina Panthers in London for the Saints. As to the Packers, on the other hand, now, like I said, a big reason why no team has allowed the Packers to play a game overseas is because teams don't want to give up a game against the Packers, because that generates a lot of revenue for the stadium and for the owners and for the team itself. So they're against the Bears, Lions, Vikings, Cowboys, Giants, Rams, Patriots, Jets, and Titans. So we'll go through here. The Bears and Vikings have an international home base in the UK, but I can't see the Packers giving up a home game against 2 of their most iconic rivals. Same thing with the Lions. I just can't see that happening for them. Cowboys, I can't see happening because that's a massive, massive ratings draw for the NFL, and I don't think the Packers are going to give up a game with that outside of Lambeau. Giants, I can see happening because they're not a good team, and there may be history between the two, but the Giants aren't very good, and the Packers were the best team in the NFC last year. The Rams, I can't see considering they just won the Super Bowl. Patriots doesn't seem like a game they'd want to give up for Lambeau. Jets could happen, although they did play a game last year. But they do have the international home base. And for the Titans, although if they want to go the extra game route and have that be it, they could use the Titans. But I personally predict that the Green Bay Packers will face off against the New York Jets for the upcoming season in London because, actually, Albert, they will. It's probably in a few years, but I'd say in 2023, maybe 2024, they'll start doing games in Canada. I personally think the Packers will be facing against the Jets because of the ties with Woody Johnson being the former UK ambassador under Trump. And I also believe that, even though it's back-to-back years, I think it could happen for the Jets in particular, though I wouldn't be shocked if it's the Giants. The Cardinals, on the other hand, is a little more interesting. Now, if you just want to go, the extra game route, you could do the Patriots, but I'm not too sure about that. I think the Cardinals are going to want to have the Rams and the 49ers, mostly because the Rams just won the Super Bowl and they were going to have a game in Mexico, but that didn't happen because of issues with the stadium. And the 49ers, that'd be a rematch of the old Football Americano, the first ever, which was the first ever international regular season game. It was the first ever regular season game held outside the U.S., which was in Mexico City between the 49ers and the Cardinals. I could see that being a rematch. I can't see the Saints and Buccaneers because they're hosting games in London. Chiefs I can see happening because they also said that they'll be advertising over there, but I don't think they're going to be in Mexico for this year. Chargers, I could see the Chargers, considering that, I understand they don't have a base there, but the Chargers did play in Mexico recently in 2019, and I could easily see that happening again. And the Patriots I could see happening as well, but I don't think they're going to want to give up a game for that. So I personally predict that they'll be against the Rams, a playoff matchup, a playoff rematch, and a divisional rivalry in Mexico City. How fun would that be? And finally, we get the game in Munich for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this one could go one of two ways, really. It can go many ways, actually. I personally don't see the Buccaneers giving up any of their divisional games, mostly because, the Saints are playing in London, and they're going to be against a divisional matchup, probably the Panthers. And while Carolina did schedule Germany as a host base for them, I can't see that happening for the Buccaneers. And I also can't see the Falcons going to Germany either. Rams, I can't see happening. Yeah, it'd be a nice playoff. It's a playoff rematch, but I can't see that given up, especially for the reigning Super Bowl champions. Seahawks, I can't see that either. Packers, no way. Ravens, could happen. Bengals, I can't see, considering they just went to the Super Bowl. Chiefs, on the other hand, I can see. I can see the Chiefs, considering they did. Yeah, I understand this is a Super Bowl rematch from Super Bowl 55. But Brady's not with the team anymore, at least for now. Who knows if he decides to come out of retirement. And, the Chiefs also have both Germany and Mexico as a home base for them. So this is literally a perfect opportunity for them to do this. And even though I do think Ravens would probably work a little bit better, I think for the sole matter of them having, markets in Germany, I think the Buccaneers will have a Super Bowl rematch in Germany and face against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, in Munich. So there you go. There are my predictions. What I think is going to happen is for the London game, the Jaguars will host the Denver Broncos. The New Orleans Saints will host the Carolina Panthers. The Green Bay Packers will host the New York Jets. The Arizona Cardinals will host the Los Angeles Rams. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host Mexico. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Kansas City Chiefs. And as always, best of luck, my friends. Peace out.